The honest woodcutter the still river remembers. In a hamlet nestled at the edge of a velvet green forest and the beginning of a long-forgotten river, there lived a man named Ayan. Neither young nor old, neither praised nor mocked, he existed like a tree that had quietly chosen to give shade without asking to be seen. Each morning, Ayan walked into the woods with an axe wrapped in an old cotton cloth, the handle worn smooth by his grandfather's hands, the blade dulled from seasons of honest labor. He cut only dead trees. He whispered to ants before stepping over logs. And when he rested, he did so beneath the trees he had spared. He worked not for ambition but for rhythm, for the joy of motion and the dignity of need met honestly. One morning, as dew still clung to cobwebs strung between neem branches and birds traded secrets with the breeze, Ayan leaned over a quiet stream to wash his face. His axe, resting loosely on a boulder, slipped from his grasp. There was no splash. Only a soft plonk, followed by widening ripples. The axe was gone. He sat in stillness for a long time. Not in rage. Not even grief. Just stillness, the kind of waiting that trees understand. As the shadows shifted and the sun stretched across the stream, something shimmered beneath the water. Rising slowly, like breath from deep sleep, came a luminous figure clothed in light and mist, a guardian of the forest waters. Her eyes held the hush of untouched places. I saw, she said simply. And I ask you this, was it this? In her hand, a golden axe, aglow with perfection. Ayan stood, looked, then lowered his gaze. No, that is not mine. That tool sings a song I do not know. She nodded once, silently. Then again, the water stirred. This time, a silver axe, polished like moonlight. Again, Ayan smiled gently. No. That too is beautiful. But my hands are calloused by iron, not silver. She offered no words. Finally, she emerged holding his old axe, scarred, chipped, and familiar. Ayan exhaled. Yes, this one bears my years, and I know its weight in the dark. The river spirit returned his axe, and with it, though he did not ask, she offered the gold and the silver. He accepted only his own. Gifts unearned unsettle the soul, he said. The spirit bowed, not in formality, but in respect. And vanished. Word trickled through the village like sweet sap in spring. Another man, Govind, restless and clever with his hands but not his heart, heard the tale. He, too, went to the forest. He, too, flung his axe into the river with performative sorrow and crafted grief. Sure enough, the guardian rose again. She held the golden axe first. Yes. Govind cried too quickly. That one is mine. She tilted her head slightly, as if listening to something only the water could hear. Then she faded, without a word, without an echo, and took with her all three axes. Govind went home, not lighter but less. Ayan continued his life unchanged. But the forest had changed. Birds lingered longer in the branches when he passed. Leaves rustled with familiarity. Children began walking with him into the woods, asking, "Tell us about the river that listens." And Ayan would pause near that very stream, lean on his old axe, and say, "If you shout a lie into the world, it may echo back gold. But the still places, the true places, return only what your silence deserves." Over time, no statue was built for Ayan. But a small tree grew beside the stream. And beneath it, someone carved in the bark. Truth does not shout. It ripples. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. ALP Academy, learn lightly, grow deeply.